Hello and welcome back to a chat with Castle Escapes and Clones. This is our live show that we do every Thursday, unless we're not doing it. We didn't do last week due to familial obligations. And there's the Melix, Danielle, and Ben. Thank you for coming in and joining us. And Meg! Yay!
Hello.
Um, Anyway, we are Castle Kids of Clones. We discuss everything in the Disney universe. There's Pete and Allie.
Hello.
Anyway, we are. I'm here with my cousin and co-pilot, as always, cousin Rich.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going well. We were just talking about my time at WonderCon last weekend.
Yeah, we were just talking about that before.
It's fun.
If you have not seen his video on the cosplay, who did the Marvel cosplay. Tell them a little bit about it. Hi, Jason and Ginger.
Hello. Yeah, so cousin or friend Thom and I were at WonderCon, and we just walked outside because WonderCon, to get in, you had to show proof of vaccination and wear a mask indoors at all times, even though you show proof of vaccination. So we wanted to get out, breathe a little bit, and we found ourselves looking at a whole bunch of Marvel costume people walking by, and we're like, oh, that's cool. Then all of a sudden we realized there was a lot. So we're like, what's going on? And then someone yelled Marvel meetup. I'm like, well, I was dressed kind of as a Peter B. Parker. So I'm like, let's go. And we followed them and then ended up in that whole thing with a lot of people. There was a lot of cosplayers that met up for that.
It was amazing.
Yeah. I mean, there was already Moon Knight costumes that look like the TV show Moon Knight. And I'm like, why?
It's incredible what cosplayers are able to do. Some of them make costumes that are even better than Disney quality.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
and some of them are really in the character. There was a guy who was dressed up as J. Jonah Jameson, and he was in character for the whole time. So it was basically berating all the superheroes.
Wow.
Especially all the Spider-Men. There's a video somewhere out there. I don't know where it is because I was in it, where a whole bunch of the Spider-Man people were just surrounding him, and he was just yelling at us.
Yeah. Pete and Allie said the Iron Man were so great. And hi, Cammy.
The Iron Men are crazy because it's full-on suits, and some of them have their masks mechanically open up like in the movie.
Yeah.
But when I'm walking near them, they're just I'm just man, you must be so uncomfortable because they're just kind of waddling.
Seriously. Yeah, seriously. I can't imagine walking around in that all day long.
Yeah. But I have another video for that where it's the floor and other stuff going on. But there's so much footage that we shot, and it's kind of been a busy week at work, so I'll hopefully get that up this weekend.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. I watched Better Nate Than Ever and Morbius, and I put those reviews up on our channel. Watch Better Nate Than Ever. Don't watch Morbius. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
I mean, Morbius was okay. It was okay. It wasn't it was like Venom okay. If you saw the movie Venom, it was it's not bad, but it's not good. So
it's not let's go to the theater right now.
Yeah, I would watch it on a rainy day on a streaming service. That'll do. But I probably would not go back to the theater to watch it.
Yeah, from everyone I know who've seen it, I have not heard anything that wants me to go see it.
Yeah.
So I think almost it's going to be I'll watch it if there's nothing else to watch and I'm super bored and then for whatever reason curious.
Mm-hmm.
About what kind of movie it is.
Hi Nadia and hi DC. Yeah, I want Lisa Kudrow to be my aunt as well. If I could just have somebody that just goes. um, and Meg wants to see more because I mean, I'm not saying don't watch it. Well, I did say that, but I mean, that was just my quick review. I'm just saying it's not great, but go see it. I mean, I didn't mind seeing it in the theater. I just wouldn't see it again in the theater. So,
Speaking of theater, I got my
yeah,
tickets to
Doctor
Doctor
Strange.
Strange. Yeah.
Fortunately, we don't have a ticket problem. Like, I can buy tickets the day of, and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But
We
that
don't.
was, yeah, that was I guess apparently shattered all records.
Oh, really? I can
For
believe it. I woke up for whatever. So the tickets came out yesterday. Yesterday.
yeah.
So Wednesday, but I don't know what time they started selling them.
Mm-hmm.
But I was up at midnight because I was watching Moon Knight. So if they
Yeah.
were on sale at that time, I forgot, and it wasn't until I woke up and I looked at my phone and somebody like posted like got my tickets. I'm like, oh crap! Went to the thing. My
Yeah.
theater that I usually go to pretty much sold out except for really crappy seats, and I don't want to
Right.
sit. And plus, I had because I had like a number of people I needed to get for, and I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't find a block of like 4 seats that
Yeah.
I needed. So I ended up going to a town like my old town, but eventually I got it for like 8 o'clock on Thursday night.
Oh, that's cool.
So
That's not too bad.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I was like happy I got tickets.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's get through the news. Our main topic is Moon Knight because we've seen the first 2 episodes and we just need to talk about it.
Yes, we
But
do.
we've got a few pieces of news to go through. Hopefully, we can get through it fast. So, anyway, our condolences go to the family and friends of Estelle Harris, who passed away recently. She was the voice of Mrs. Potato Head, and she was also on Sweet Life of Zack and Cody on the Disney Channel. And so, anyway, we'll miss her and her angry eyes. So,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
pretty
it's too
sad.
bad.
I mean,
Yeah,
she's had a pretty long career, so
yeah.
I mean,
So,
she's on one of the biggest sitcoms ever.
exactly, Seinfeld.
So, yeah, that's she played George Costanza's mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on. Disney is developing a Jim Henson documentary, and that is going to be helmed by Ron Howard. And this is also in with full support of the Henson family. I
Yeah.
think that I mean I am dying for that because I know that they're also doing a Jim Henson movie, like a biographical um, movie,
Hmm.
but this is a documentary that Ron Howard is doing, and I think it will be incredible if they have like a lot of cool footage and stuff like that.
I mean, if
And
they have,
which the Henson they've opened the archives for them. So
so they should, I would
yeah,
imagine.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would definitely.
I can't remember. Like the only other documentary I saw from Ron Howard, I think, was 8 Days a Week, which was a
Oh
Beatles,
yeah, that's a Beatles. Yeah, I
a Beatles
remember
one.
that.
Has he done
Yeah,
any other ones?
not that
Now I'm
I
curious. Now I'm
not that
curious.
I know, but I mean, I wouldn't doubt if he did
Yeah.
another one. I mean, he likes he's got an incredible body of work. So I mean, just hearing that Ron Howard is involved with it, I'm you
Yeah.
know like doubly excited than I was when I first heard about it, which was very exciting.
Indeed.
Yeah, so yeah, I think that'll be really cool. All right, so Pixar has promoted Turning Red's director, Domi Shi, and the producer, Lindsay Collins. So Domi Shi is going to be joining the Pixar Brain Trust. So that's made of Andrew Stanton, Peter Son, and Dan Scanlon. And they're going to be guiding filmmakers in their own productions. So that's a big step up for her. And then Lindsay Collins has been named in a new position. She's a senior vice president of development, and she's going to be helping. Um, she's going to be heading a development group for Pixar for both streaming services and film, guiding filmmakers on their projects as well. And she's going to report to Pixar president Jim Morris and join the creative VP team, which is Ward's chief creative officer, Pete Doctor, in guiding the studio's creative direction. That I mean, I think that that's incredible, given the fact that Pixar had been a boys' club for a long time, and the fact that they're now opening doors, and the fact that Dami Shi is also Asian American.
Right.
So they're diversifying. I just think it's an incredible step for Pixar.
Yeah, that's a pretty big. Both of them very big promotions.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
And I just I love Turning Red. I'm like totally obsessed with it now. So I don't know if it's my favorite Pixar film, but it's up there. Yeah. All right. Well, Disney Park news: characters will return to regular meet and greets starting April 18th. You can hug your favorite character. Look at that little girl. She looks so happy.
I'm be
She's kissing
curious.
Mickey on the nose.
I'm be curious how our niece Cassiana will react to being actually able to go up to characters.
I can't wait to see that.
Because in the
I
beginning,
can't.
when she was little, she was afraid, but now she
Yeah.
like. Sometimes we feel like, is she gonna jump the rope? Is she gonna jump the rope? Is she gonna jump the rope?
Yeah. Well,
She
now she
doesn't,
can jump the
but
rope.
she wants. You can tell like she wants to. So we'll
Mm-hmm.
see. We'll see how it is now. And of course, you're gonna be there the day before this happens.
I know. I'm like, of course. This always happens to me. That I'll be there one day, and the next day everything opens, and I'm so like I'm hoping they're going to do soft opening
What to say? Maybe we'll do like
or
a trial, like a. We'll do a couple.
right, exactly. And there will be one in particular that I would be happy if they did. We'll talk about that in a second. Um, but yeah, regular meet and greets coming.
Now, does that mean they'll be wandering around now again?
I think
Some of them.
I think they're gonna at least do it in phases. I don't know if they're gonna like have like take for instance. I don't know if they're gonna reopen the Princess Fantasy Fair building. Like they may open it up in the theater where they've been meeting right now.
Okay.
You know, for people to meet. I don't actually know how they're gonna do it all, or if they're going to have roaming characters, or
Do they do a schedule now? I haven't checked.
yeah,
Because they used to do schedule where you know when a character would be somewhere.
yeah. I mean, some of them they do. It's weird. Like some of them they put on there, some of them they don't.
Yeah.
Like it just gets crazy. Hey, Karen.
Hello.
Yeah, so that's going to happen, and then Disney Parks released a trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, which is a new coaster that they're putting in Epcot. And it's going to open on May 27th in time for Memorial Day weekend. Who is going to go on that. Let us know in the chat if you are planning to go on that weekend, or if you're excited for Cosmic Rewind. It looks fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be curious. I mean, obviously, it's not going to compare to Mission Breakout here in California Adventure, but because it's going to be its own entire thing. But it'll be interesting to see how they use the Guardians properties. The trailer had Peter Quill asleep the entire time, so it's like,
in other words, that is not Chris Pratt.
Yeah, is Chris Pratt going to be involved? Are the other Guardians going to be involved? I'm sure that they got them.
I mean, because they were filming, Guardians 3 and the holiday special, so they would have been around to film something similar to the DCA ride. So,
Junior Soren over California, I think, has restarted and goes until the end of the Food and Wine Festival.
Over California?
Yeah, over California.
Yeah, because they switched over. The normal one now is Soren.
Just Soren over the world.
Yeah, I think for the Food Wine Festival, it should be California.
Right. Okay, so
yes, the Food Wine Festival has been on for a couple weeks now, and it goes until April 26th or something like that.
Yeah, so I'm excited because I'll be able to take part in that. There's so much I need to do in one day there. It's crazy. All right. Moving on, Hyperspace Mountain is returning to Disneyland in time for both Star Wars Night and Star Wars Celebration, which is happening at the end of this month, right?
Next month.
Next month, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so Star Wars Night, the first Star Wars Night is May 3rd, and then there's one May 4th, and then there's another Star Wars Night during Celebration. I forget which day. But Star Wars Celebration, I think, starts the 26th? Around there? Whatever that Thursday is around that time.
Yeah.
It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I want to say Star Wars Night is the 27th. I could be wrong. I'm not even sure if there's still tickets available for those yet. But I actually like Hyperspace Mountain.
Me too.
I mean, I prefer Space Mountain.
Space Mountain. Yeah.
So I remember when they first did this, they were like, "Yeah, it'll be only for a month or two," and it was there for a year. And then after that, you're just like, "All right, I just want normal. I'm good for it for a month or whatever." But I think it's fun. I mean, I'm a Star Wars guy, so
yeah, it should just be seasonal like other things. So
yeah, as long as they don't keep it overplay it,
right?
Then it becomes a special thing.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Final piece of Disney Park news: Moon Knight and Mr. Knight. I don't mean to give any spoilers, but appeared in the second episode. They are appearing at Disney California Adventure. I cannot wait to see them. There's been a lot of Instagram postings of Mr. Knight.
I need to figure out how to do that mask because I want to cosplay as this.
Right? That would be so. I mean, he just looks so cool, Mr. Knight. So, so super excited about that. And there's Moon Knight.
Yeah. What's funny is that Moon Knight and even Mr. Knight have way more complex costuming than Shang-Chi.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why they didn't put Shang-Chi in it.
And then just put Shang-Chi. I mean, they look more complex than Shang-Chi's superhero costume. But the
Right.
Shang-Chi we get in the parks is the guy in the varsity jacket.
Yeah, it's weird.
I'm like,
Racism.
is that the is that what is the most iconic look is? The one
Yeah,
from the train
from
or
the, yeah, for the bus.
the bus.
Yeah,
But it's
it's
not
his
even like
it's his valet jacket.
yeah. I mean, he even has a different jacket when he goes over to see his father, and then he goes
Yeah,
into the superhero suit. So I'm
right.
hoping because it's hilarious to me when I see a whole bunch of Marvel characters there, and then there's a dude in a varsity jacket,
Right.
and it could be anybody.
Yeah, I'm hoping because obviously that's not going to be the last for Shang-Chi, so it's going to
Yeah,
be
I hope. Well, yeah,
yeah,
we know he's going to come back, but like, I hope they give him the character in the parks a better outfit,
right.
and that we see Aquafina's character,
Yeah.
Katie, and someone make a robotic Morris.
Mm-hmm. All right, so the moving on to Lucasfilm news. Star Wars Celebration has announced its first panels and guests. Kicks off with a live action Star Wars movie and series panel on Thursday. So there's going to be a whole extravaganza. I've heard Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor, the Mandalorian. It will be interesting to see what other titles they're going to be talking about. There's going to be a Mando Plus, a conversation with John Favreau and Dave Filoni on Saturday. There's going to be the Bad Batch panel on Sunday, and they're going to have special guests including Giancarlo Esposito, who played what's his name on the Mandalorian? I forgot.
Oh, Moff Gideon.
Yeah, Moff Gideon. Yeah, that's right. Jonas Suotamo, who is Chewbacca. Anthony Daniels, as we know, C-3PO. Ian McDermott, who is the Emperor / Palpatine. Ashley Eckstein, the voice in the animated Ahsoka. Carl Weathers, who, again, name escaping me from The Mandalorian.
Grief Karga.
Yeah, Grief Carl. I don't know why I can't remember anybody's name. Katie Sackhoff, who is Bo Katan, both in the animated series and The Mandalorian, and Emily Swallow, who plays the armorer in The Mandalorian. So a lot of cool guests. I am super excited that you are going to be able to go because I don't think I would be able to go, but I remember the first one that I went to, I got to see Carrie Fisher and
Billy D. Williams,
Mark Hamill. I mean, and these are like good panels to go to. Like they really dive deep with these actors, and all the actors are so like excited and grateful to be there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be. I definitely am looking forward to your.
Yeah. I am
next cosplay.
I'm definitely very curious what that live action movie and series panel is the opening panel. It's the big one. It's the one in the ones we've gone to, the first one we went to in Anaheim in 2015.
It was like amazing.
That was where they premiered the
first trailer, right?
Trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when I went in Chicago, it was the trailer for it was all about the rise of Skywalker. So that's when Stephen Colbert was there moderating that panel with the cast and crew and whatever, and then they played the trailer. But this one, like, there's no movie that we know of that's coming out, so it's a panel on all the live action stuff, but they say movies, so there's gonna be some movie news. at that panel.
Hopefully. I mean, like, I just feel like we haven't gotten any movie news.
Yeah,
In a
whether it
long
be the
time.
Patty Jenkins one, the ones that Kevin Feige is working on, Taika Waititi, Ryan Johnson,
Yeah.
and there's a couple more that are out there that we just not heard anything about. So, I mean, they named it the live action movie and series panel. So there is a movie aspect of that panel.
That'd be cool.
And yes, I will be dressed up as a Rebel pilot and one day, and
which has been approved by the Rebel pilot that you're kind of going as.
yes, approved by oh my god. now
I know you get on these live shows and you're like, what's their name again? I forgot. But
Paul, oh my god. Yeah, I'm terrible. Now
yeah.
So, man, why am I
Paul something?
But the character is Carson Teva. I know that.
Yeah.
Young Lee.
Okay, yeah. There we go.
It's the middle part I keep forgetting the order.
Right.
Paul Sun Hyung Lee. Okay,
yeah. I bet you that conversation with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni is going to be fascinating. I mean, these are the guys who are basically reinventing live action Star Wars.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So, I hope Bryce is there also for something. Bryce Dallas Howard. Bryce Dallas Howard.
Oh, Bryce. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that would be cool. Oh, that would be cool if he was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely film what you can. I can't remember if you can film these or not.
You can.
Just not during the movie part.
Just right? Not during the any kind of actual like video presentation and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any panel you're most excited to see? Aside from
all of those.
Aside from the movie and series and Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. Because obviously those are two.
I mean, those are the only ones they've announced, but I'm sure there's going to be like kind of when we saw, like just a panel with Carrie Fisher. With I would love.
It was one of the best panels I've ever been to.
Yeah. All of them, like Billy D. Williams, Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, they're all pretty great. Like I would love to see a panel like that with maybe some of this, like Ewan McGregor, some of the sequel cast,
right.
Daisy's come back onto social media.
Who has?
Daisy Ridley.
Oh, Daisy Ridley. Yeah.
So like any of those, any other actors,
right.
Donald Glover.
Yeah. Donald Glover would be cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on, Obi-Wan Kenobi, the series has been moved from Wednesday, May 25th to Friday, May 27th. So I think this is the first time that they're moving a series back to Fridays. It was back when Loki came out that everything was coming out on Wednesday.
But it's not permanently on Friday.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's just for that. Because then 3 days later, we'll get another episode on the Wednesday.
Oh, okay. But then they're going to be showing 2 episodes on the 27th.
Yes.
So then episode 3 will be that next Wednesday?
Yes.
That's crazy.
And that means that Wednesday we'll be halfway done with that series.
Mm-hmm.
But this is coinciding with Celebration. So I'm assuming there's going to be there's a reason why they're doing it. And I think it has to do with what's going on in Celebration, what they might announce or want to talk about during one of the panels or something. Like maybe Ewan McGregor. Maybe they'll. I'd love to see a Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen panel with those two.
That would be cool.
Right. And I think My prediction is that we know Hayden's in it and Darth Vader's going to be in it. He's not going to appear until the second episode. And so when that airs on that Friday, Celebration's going to go crazy if there's a panel that day with the two of them, right? So that's what I'm assuming is why they did that.
Right.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, Donald Glover has talked about Orlando on the Jimmy Kimmel on Live with Jimmy Kimmel, and he basically says that he's got a lot of things going that he's very excited about, and I think he said that Lando was another one of those things. And he was hoping that they all come out at the same time, and he feels that's what's important to him. So
he didn't specify, but he didn't deny it either.
Right,
it's because
like one of those.
He gave a little laugh, a little twinkle, but we'll see.
Exactly. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see Donald Glover come back as Lando. I always get him and Danny Glover like when you first put it in the notes, my head read Danny Glover. I said, Danny Glover's in Lando?
Murtaugh?
What?
Murtaugh from
legendary actor.
Just a little bit of an age difference.
Right, exactly. Well, I don't know. You could play Lando in the future. So, all right. So the final piece of Lucasfilm news is that actress Talisa Garcia will become the first transgender actress to be cast by Disney in a Lucasfilm project. We understand that Garcia will play a queen and the mother of Tony Revolori's character, who takes part in the quest.
This is in Willow, by the way.
Oh yeah, this is Willow. Sorry, I should say that. That's why it's Lucasfilm. That's cool that she's going to be a queen and a mother. I forgot that Tony Revolori is in this. For those of you who don't know who Tony Revolori is, he was Flash Thompson in the new Spider-Man film, the MCU Spider-Man film. So, yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah,
I was on I'm like on this like long-standing movie club on Teacup for One, and this month we're talking about Peter Pan and how would they do a Peter Pan film this day with the Native Americans that they have, because the animated film has a very racist song in it.
What?
Yeah, I know. What makes a red man red? How could that not be racist? So, but the story needs Native American characters, because Tiger Lily is a big character. So they're in the new movie. They have hired cast people from Native American tribes in One Nation. So that's a big step, and just the fact that they're having a transgender actress playing this role is just really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yes, Meg says more Willow. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I know Celebration won't be the place to do it because it's not about Lucasfilm; it's about Star Wars. But I'm really curious to see how far they are, because they had I forget when it was that presentation where they had the cast together just talking about it, making fun of Warwick Davis.
Yeah.
So at least that the cast, the main cast has gotten together. So I don't know where they are in the production.
Yeah, I feel like they've been talking about this for a long time. Yeah, even longer than Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah. And that's coming out. So it's got to be coming out soon.
Hope so.
Yeah.
I want to see what they're doing with it.
Well, I just want to see Lucasfilm do something that isn't Star Wars. And I know that they've got Indy coming up, but
Right.
I just want to see them like do more. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if there's any news about that besides that.
About what?
About
Willow.
If there's anything.
Yeah.
Where
Anybody excited to see Willow? I know that Meg, you are. All right. Well, Daniel and Ben, thanks for coming by. Have a good night's sleep. Anything?
The last thing we thought was like during one of the coming in 2022 is Willow on that list. So,
well, I mean, maybe it will be coming in with just little surprises with the trailer.
Holiday 2022. There's a lot of stuff coming out this year.
Right.
So it'll be
so much.
Interesting to see how they schedule everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just have one piece of Marvel news before we go on to Moon Knight, and that's Ironheart cast member. This is a new series coming to Disney Plus. Anthony Ramos. He's a little kid, right?
Anthony Ramos.
Anthony Ramos from Hamilton. Duh.
Yeah.
Okay. I know that there was an Ironheart piece of news out, and then when I was saying he's a little kid, and then reading Anthony Ramos' name again, I'm like,
to be fair, in the second half, he does play Philip. So he plays kind of he plays a little kid at some a little version of Philip.
Yeah, he does play Philip
before he grows up a little.
Right, exactly.
Which I always thought was funny.
That is. Anyway, according to him, Black Panther director Ryan Coogler is going to be involved in the new show, which is great. For those of you who don't know who Ironheart is, she is a African American teenage girl who, she develops this armor that is close to Iron Man's, and that gets Tony Stark's attention, and she has her own suit of armor, and they call her Ironheart, and she's part of the Champions, which is kind of like the next generation of heroes. And there's big speculation out there that Marvel is developing either young Avengers or Champions. It could be Champions, because they've been introducing all of these characters that are involved with either of the teams. Tommy and Billy Maximoff are one of them. So, or one of them, or two of them. So, so that's going to be really cool. Especially who knows what's going to happen after Doctor Strange.
It's not one of the news things, but they did have another small 30-second Multiverse of Madness.
Yes.
True. I don't know what they call them. They're not trailers, but
it's like a TV spot or something. Yeah,
TV spot. But we saw the boys in it.
Yes. I was so excited when I saw them in there.
Like, I feel it's not. I think it's going to be if there's anything, it's going to be like Avengers, maybe Champions or something. Because I think this is what the next Avengers movie is going to be. Is this team? Because even if you look at this,
I have a feeling too.
Speed, Wiccan, America Chavez, Kate Bishop is already here. We've seen Patriot, not by superhero name, but the nephew Isaiah.
Yeah, Isaiah Bradley.
Bradley's in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Ironheart is coming. Ms. Marvel is coming out.
Right.
So, like, all things point to a younger roster for the next wave of, I think, Avengers movies. I think we're going to see them over the next, 10 years, like these heroes go from kids to adults.
So exciting.
Yeah.
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 All right. Let's move on to Moon Knight. I'm super excited. I'm taking it that you watched both episodes of
Oh
Moon
yeah.
Knight.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll probably be talking about spoilers. So anybody that hasn't seen either of the episodes, can bow out. But hopefully you all have seen it because even my sister has seen it. And I had been begging her to
Right.
watch Moon Knight, and she's like, yeah, we'll get around to it. And then she watched it and she's like, then, you know, she was quick to watch it yesterday. So she just
Oh, yeah.
she watched it, yeah. So that's a kind of a cool thing. What are your general impressions of the series so far?
For me, it doesn't, to me, it doesn't necessarily feel like a typical Marvel project. But I've said
Right.
that almost about every single series.
Exactly. I know. They manage to change up the formula every time.
Yeah, but this one, especially because there's no lead in to this movie or the series. No one,
Mm-hmm.
because like you take WandaVision, we already knew Wanda and Vision. Loki. We've obviously met Loki. Even Falcon and Winter Soldier. What if? Um, like and Hawkeye. Like we've known those characters already. So this is the first
Yes.
one where there was no lead in. There was no like, and Moon Knight's in this little part in this movie, and you'll meet him later in his own series. There's
Yeah.
no tie yet to anything Marvel. So
Mm-hmm.
I think, like, even if you're not familiar, if you've not seen all the Marvel movies, if you're not familiar with any of the other characters, this is almost like a show you can watch regardless of it.
Yeah.
But I really uh, like the cinematography of this series.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of work involved in this framing of reflections and symbolism and little Easter eggs where I'm like, I think this is I think this is leading to something that I'm not sure of because I'm not really familiar with Moon Knight.
Yeah. I'm familiar with him from when I was younger, but they've changed the character so much and added Mr. Knight in there, and so
Yeah,
it's like a new adventure for me as well.
yeah. Yeah, and it's like I want to say refreshing, but it's different enough where I'm like, okay. Uh, but and then Oscar Isaac is I would say like the scene in Lord of the Rings between Smeagol and Gollum of like two personalities having a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I think this takes it to another level.
Yeah.
Oscar Isaac's performance with himself is
I
is
think
um
that's a yeah, I think that's the most compelling stuff is watching him talk to himself, and it seems like there are two people talking to each other in that room.
yeah.
It's not. It's like his the way his take on both of the characters is so different that you really feel a difference. And I'm glad that Stephen Grant in the comic books was a millionaire philanthropist, and that was one of his personalities. And they changed it because they wanted to avoid uh, people comparing him to Batman.
Because that was always the thing about him. Like
Yeah,
someone said something about Moon Knight, it's like, oh, he's kind of like the Marvel's Batman. Like, oh,
right.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah, so that's why they wanted to change it, and I think that was like their smartest move was making him more of a like simpleton and British.
Brit.
In fact, it was funny because I was talking to my sister, and I said, yeah, and he talks with a British accent, and she goes, he's not British, and I said, no, he's not. He's American. Yeah, so she was amazed by it as well. I don't know how people from Great Britain think about it, but I I just think like he's two different people. Just even mannerisms, uh, the inflection of his voice, um, just so much goodness.
Yeah, it was funny. Like, um, what's it called? Uh, his when he's acting. So he's got another actor with him when he's doing these scenes, right?
Hmm.
And that actor is his brother.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he brought his brother along to the shoot, and he plays him when he's acting opposite. So some of the shots, he was said like sometimes you see my brother's shoulder. That's him. So,
Yeah,
same DNA.
yeah. It's
But
crazy because when they said Oscar Isaac was going to be taking this role, I'm like, I mean, not that I hate Oscar Isaac, I don't dislike him, but he was just kind of like he was trying to be like a Han Solo-esque character as Poe Dameron in the Star Wars movies. Then I know him from as Apocalypse from Age of Apocalypse, which was terrible, and so I just wasn't excited about it. But now I have no doubts they picked the right actor. Like no doubts.
yeah, I did because I've seen him in so many different things that are outside of the kind of genre movies.
Yeah.
So, um, I knew, and his I knew that to get him to come to the Marvel universe again, right?
Hmm.
Um, After everything that happened with Apocalypse and Star Wars, this the kind of like fan backlash and whatever. Um, I knew it was going to take a lot to get him to do it, and everything is surrounding the production of it, the creators is what brought him, but then that he can actually make this a character, and not only
Hmm.
that, he's made it into several characters, and he works at it, and
Yeah.
you can really tell that each version of the character, each personality is something he full on dedicated to
Hmm.
doing.
Definitely. Meg says that she hasn't seen it yet, but she knows nothing of the character. So the first few episodes do explain who he is. It's common knowledge in comic books that
Yeah,
he was left for dead at the foot of the
yeah. He
uh, temple of Khonshu, the moon god.
he was a mercenary
Yeah, he was a mercenary.
hired to do some mercenary stuff.
Yeah, and he basically is brought back to life by Khonshu, uh, and is made his fist of vengeance. He takes vengeance against those who've done wrong.
His avatar.
Um, huh?
His avatar.
His avatar. Yeah, his avatar.
Like the blue people.
Um, oh, and wait, hold on. I got to read this. That Meg said, "Age of Apocalypse was more than horrible." I know. I was trying to be nice.
Yeah, there are parts of that movie I liked. He was his apocalypse was not part of it. It's not his
No.
fault.
Yeah, it's not his fault. It was just poorly done.
Yeah.
Like had they gone the route of Josh Brolin and Thanos, it
Yeah.
could have been better. But they went into this really like Mighty Morphin Power Ranger
It looks like ridiculous.
type of what's his name? Ivan Ooze.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
That's what's bad.
So yeah,
Yeah,
it was awful.
like those movies have really great actors in it, so it's really just the material that was just not great.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence. I think she started to phone it in.
Mm-hmm. I get mad at X-Men movies. My dad refused to see any after X2 with me. Yeah, I mean, X2 is like the height of X-Men. Although Logan, if you haven't seen Logan,
Logan is
Logan's a
great.
good one. Yeah, Logan is really good.
And I liked Days of Future Past, and then
Yeah, it was okay.
Isn't bad.
Yeah, it's not, that one isn't all too bad. Age of Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix are just really hard for me to watch.
I think the thing about Days of Future Past is I love how they did Blink.
Yeah,
I think that's the coolest. Cool, kind of like how the opening of X2 with Nightcrawler and how they did him.
If they had more of that, I would have loved it more.
Yeah, I think that's why I liked it. I'm just like, this gave us an awesome Blink, and I want to see a Blink series.
Right.
But we never got that.
Yeah.
Or something.
Okay, so we've talked about Oscar Isaac. Yeah, Meg loves Blink. We've talked about Oscar Isaac. Let's talk about Ethan Hawke. What do you think of Ethan Hawke?
I mean, I've always been a big fan of Ethan Hawke.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he plays him in a very, like, sometimes, like, especially in episode 2, you kind of get it.
Yeah.
Right? Until Steven kind of breaks it down into the Minority Report version of his system. But
right.
Yeah,
because
and like almost like not creepy, but like in that almost like cult leader, and everything I imagine a cult leader would be, very calm,
right,
soothing, but there's like a little bit of witchery.
Yeah.
In his
because the whole thing is like, how do you punish somebody? Do you punish them after they've done the deed or before they've done the deed? And it's like Khonshu and Ethan Hawke, who is the avatar of the goddess Ammit, right? Ammit. Yeah, she, who is kind of like the judge of the Egyptian gods. He like judges people before, and at first, like he makes like, what would you do about Hitler? Would you want to have him punished before he committed all of his atrocities? And like, I can't help but think, yeah, that would have been,
I mean, if
great. Yeah, but then Stephen Grant, Stephen Grant, Oscar Isaac's like simpleton character says, well, what about children? What do you do about children? And that's when Ethan Hawke has to explain. What did he say about them? That they're, I can't remember what he says, but basically, they're to be judged like everybody else. And, Stephen Grant could not fathom this. And that's when you're like, okay, yeah, that's a little nuts. So,
yeah.
So that argument is so well, like, thought out, and that you can imagine there would be believers in that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, people who would totally oppose it. And yeah, it's very cool.
Oh yeah, like he set up his compound, or what you want to call it, in what he described as like a really bad area with a really downtrodden people.
Mm-hmm.
And him going in there with the promise of, we could make this better. If we just if we preemptively punished those who would do evil, would sound appealing to those people who were probably victims.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like the first episode might be my favorite first episode of a series.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna say WandaVision would be my second.
I think that they did a good job in like telling us who he is, giving enough mystery to go, who is Mark Spector, and then introducing us to Moon Knight at the very end of that episode.
Yes.
And I think that was like we didn't have to wait 10 episodes. The smartest thing that Marvel did was it took over Marvel Studios took over the television part because basically television was kind of screwing up everything, having them so supposedly linked, it's all connected to the MCU, but didn't really match up.
Yeah.
And now it is part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I don't know where I was going with the story, but that's what.
You said they were smart. They were smart.
Yeah, they were smart in doing that. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very cool. Yeah, and I think that made it a compelling first episode.
I mean, you're a little more familiar. I know you're not as familiar, but I know you're a little bit more familiar than I am.
Mm-hmm.
In the comics, how many personalities does he have?
I know of at least 3 personalities, Stephen Grant, and then there's a taxi driver.
Because
that
I think we haven't met all of personalities.
I mean, I think it would be really cool if we have not.
Like, I think we've seen the results of the third personality, because when we finally get into Mark's story and a little bit more about him, it doesn't add up. For instance, why Mark would have set up a date with somebody, because he seems like he's in like hiding, but like keeping a low profile and whatever, and going on like asking that other person on a date doesn't seem like something Mark would do.
I didn't even think about that, but that makes sense. Actually,
And every time we kind of see reflections of him in a mirror, there's 3 mirrors.
Oh, that's right.
And we can't say, well, then one of it's Moon Knight, because then we've always said you've seen 2 different Moon Knights. So it's not that they count the Moon Knight characters, Mr. Knight and Moon Knight. It's even in the end credits, if you watch it, the part when they introduce like Oscar Isaac, there's 3 Oscar Isaacs.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
so I think there is a third one we haven't met yet.
And it is interesting because Khonshu says the idiot is in charge again. He's talking to Mark Spector, and it's like, why is he saying the idiot? Like, is there somebody else?
Yeah, because if it was Mark, because the first thing he says is give Mark control or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And if he was talking to the third personality that maybe they've already worked with, he would have been like, all right. And then he's like, oh, no, wait, this is the idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it kind of adds up that there is another personality there. And I think we might, there's only 6 episodes. So I'm sure we're going to meet this third one in the 3rd episode.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was curious because I'm like, it doesn't really make sense anymore. That at first I thought it was Mark kind of protecting that personality and doing all these things to make sure that everything is, like everything is works so that Steven would never catch on.
Yeah.
But the more you see of Mark and his personality, it's not what he would do.
Right.
So, okay. So yeah.
I now remember my train of thought about Marvel being smart. It's smart that they took over television because now they can have these introduction of characters, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Ms. Marvel, characters that people have not known about, but like instantly be able to drop them into a movie after their series, because after that, people have come to know who these characters are, and I just can't wait for it. It's just
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
and I love the fact, it's so funny because everybody says, "Oh, Marvel movies are all the same." Well, if you look at all the series, they are all different. You
They're
know,
different shows altogether.
yeah, and Ms. Marvel and She Hulk are going to be very different from everything else as well, from what I've
Yeah.
read.
Like, I don't think you can say Ms. Marvel and Falcon and the Winter Soldier are the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
One's a total kind of action Marvel-y thing. One's like a teen
teen drama,
teen drama show.
teen drama with superpowers.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
WandaVision is WandaVision. I don't know how you explain that. Yeah,
right.
Loki is totally different, and this feels totally different. So
Mm-hmm.
I just think like people who say that are just like they don't see anything. They don't take the time to actually look at and really understand what they're watching. They're just saying like, "Oh, look, costume, people like explosions and whatever." I'm like, are you? Because if you're actually paying attention to the stories and the characters,
Mm-hmm.
they're different. Yeah,
There are always going to be people who want to see people fail.
yeah,
And that's, especially like Disney, Marvel, Lucasfilm, like who are juggernauts in entertainment, that, everybody wants to see them fail because they want to, I don't know what they want, like others to succeed, but then I just have a feeling that they don't want them to fail. I mean,
the
it's just,
problem. I think the problem with that, with the people who just like want like big movies and big studios to fail, is that like some of the arguments like all the little movies are getting lost and whatever, and like even with
mm,
if these weren't here, those same movies don't appeal to wide audiences, right?
mm-hmm,
And especially in an age where there's so much entertainment at everyone's fingertips.
yeah,
Back in the 80s, 70s, 60s, there wasn't a lot on TV. You had 3 channels, right? So all entertainment came from movies. So yeah, we
mm-hmm,
went out all the time and went to watch every single movie that came out, right? All different genres, whatever. But then when you can sit at home and watch something, on Netflix that's a little more cerebral, right?
mm-hmm,
I'll do that because you can sit at home and relax, and you're not going in the theater with a whole bunch of other people and whatever. Like those movies, I like to enjoy kind of in a quiet space.
mm-hmm.
Whereas these Marvel things and DC and Star Wars and all these big action things, the sound system, the energy of the audience, that's what you're there for,
Yeah.
right? So I think this people need to get over the fact that movie theaters and movies don't have to be this precious thing where it needs to be provocative and artistic and whatever. And like
Mm-hmm.
all the sentimentality that like Martin Scorsese says about like these movies being not cinema, it's like, no,
Mm-hmm.
it is. It's just not what you're used to back in the 70s.
Right.
I guarantee you, if they could make movies like this back in the 70s, they would have made movies like this back in the 70s.
Yep. For sure. I mean, Stan Lee had been trying for since the '70s to get them into movies, and it's
Just
a lot.
recent,
Could be, he doesn't get enough credit for how much work he put into trying to get the characters into the movie into quality movies.
yeah.
Because he had seen like some not quality stuff, and that's where they kind of died, because it's like, he was not impressed.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And
mean, like a lot of the like superhero movies need a lot of. It's like it's modern myths, but they're also very fantastical. With that
mm-hmm,
comes things that normal people cannot do, and
yeah,
that's where special effects fall in, right? And now, you know, we're in an age where year to year everything gets easier to do, so you can almost
mm-hmm,
do anything on screen nowadays.
yeah, for sure, for real.
I mean, look at that scene in episode 2 where he's fighting. Mr. Knight is fighting the jackal thing.
Yeah.
And there's like from the when you're in his perspective, you can see it. From everyone else's perspective, there's nothing there, and it looks. And if you buy into it, you're like, okay.
Yeah, it's so funny. And then when he punched him, and he's like, "What did he say? Like booyah or what's up or something?" I can't remember. He said one of those things.
Very British.
Yeah, it's very funny. Yeah,
like a butterfly, sticking like a bee.
Yeah, those first 2 episodes are just very, for taking something that could be so confusing and make it less confusing. I think is really cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anything else you want to say about you?
I just really like. I like the design of Kanju. Kanju.
Oh yeah, Kanju.
Kanju. Yeah. Especially when you get the shots where you can see that his head is detached.
Right. It's like a floating skull.
And we have to acknowledge the voice, F. Murray Abraham.
Salieri from Amadeus.
I was like, when you first hear it, I'm like, I know this. I know this. I know this voice.
Oscar-winning actor.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you've not seen Mythic Quest on Apple TV,
oh my God, that's so funny.
He's on that series, and he is amazing on that series. Yeah. I love his character. I mean, I loved him in most everything I've seen him in. So,
yeah,
but
he is very funny in Mythic Quest.
And I love, especially in the first episode, the action sequences. I mean, there's still a lot of action, but at the same time, there's a lot of stuff that didn't happen on camera. But it still felt exciting because you're like, oh my God, what just happened in his little, when he like flashed out and spaced out or whatever.
Yeah, like when he wakes up in the middle of wherever, I don't even know, the Alps or something.
There are a lot of theories about face.
Yeah, his face is like, I mean, I literally believe that they dislocated his jaw. It was like,
I don't know what was more like. You sit there going like, that scene or the opening scene from episode 1,
right?
With the glass and this. I'm like, don't do it, don't do it, don't. Oh my God, you did it.
Yeah.
I mean, not really, but But so there's a theory on the internet that where he is Latveria.
Oh, interesting.
But
that's a possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think every time someone sees something that looks like very European.
Right. It's like, it's Latveria.
So it's like the location version of Mephisto.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mephisto. So. Yeah, anyway. All right. Well, I think that it was a super duper first 2 episodes. Cannot wait. I can't believe that there's only 4 episodes left.
I
know. It's so crazy. Night, Meg.
Good night.
Thanks
for joining.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. I know it's late on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, that's very cool. Cool stuff.
Yeah, I knew I would like this series.
Mm-hmm.
I think I like it more than I thought I was going to like it, and I had high hopes already. So
yeah, I agree. Like I was expecting to see kind of like a Daredevil equivalent, but it's funny because they took the darkness of Daredevil, but made it fit into the MCU. So it's not entirely dour or depressing, even though it's very stressful the entire time. But you don't feel like this. It's just weird. Like It's got a very different feeling from the Netflix show, even though they do bring in some of the darkness of those shows.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. Like
Yeah,
I love the Daredevil,
yeah,
half of Luke Cage, Jessica Jones.
and not Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Right.
But there was something a little missing, and it was just a little bit of levity, and it's not everything needs to be jokey, but I think with so many like intense things, you also need a breather.
Mm.
Like Moon Knight has that. Like some of the scenes are some intense stuff. Even when it's just conversations between Mark and Steven.
There's a little bit of humor in it.
Yeah, there's like it lets you breathe a second.
Like when he says, "I'm the what do you call it? I'm the avatar of Kansu," and he goes, "You're the avatar of the moon god, the Egyptian moon god." He goes, "I've never heard of anything more stupid."
Stupid.
This is so funny the way that he says it. And, it's just such a. I love the show so far. I mean, like it's definitely. It's definitely up there. Like I almost want to put it after WandaVision as my favorite show. WandaVision will always be my favorite because it really showed me what Marvel could do with the
Oh yeah,
television show.
yeah.
And I just have a soft spot for Elizabeth Olsen and Wanda Maximoff. So and what's his name? Paul Bettany and Vision. So
Yeah.
and then they introduced us to a real cool villain. So I just love that series, even though maybe technically Moon Knight is better. Um, WandaVision will always just have a very special place in my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, anything else you want to say?
No.
Okay. Well, we have come to the end of our program. If you enjoyed yourself and you are not currently subscribed, we would so appreciate it. We have a lot of watchers who aren't subscribed yet, so we would really appreciate that. Hit the bell for notifications so you can be reminded of when these shows happen. And also, do like this post. If you haven't already and you're still here in the chat, uh, please go and like this post because it really is helping out. And anyway, with that, I'll be sure to check us out on all of our socials and check our website at www.castlescapefromhome.com. I promise I'm going to update this website. Anyway, with that, we will see you later.
Yep.
Bye.
Catch you on the flip side.